Well, the former head of MF Global, bankrupt MF Global, John Corzine, yesterday appearing before Congress, pleading ignorance in his testimony before Congress. The former senator from New Jersey, governor of New Jersey, admitted he had no idea what happened to an estimated $1.2 billion in client money held by MF Global.
I know I had no intention to ever authorize the transfer of segregated monies.
So the answer is you don't know whether you did or not.
I certainly couldn't confirm based on what I have available to me today, but I know what my intentions are.
Yeah.
Well, joining me now, one of the congressmen trying to get straight answers from Corzine, Republican Lou Dobbs of Texas. He's also the chairman of the oversight panel of the House Financial Services Committee that will hold its own hearing with Corzine. That's next week.
That's right.
Congressman, great to have you with us.
Lou, great to be on the program with you.
First, your reaction to the man who ran the company saying he didn't mean to break any rules. He doesn't know where the client money is. He doesn't know where the losses occurred that led to the bankruptcy of the firm which ostensibly he was running.
The only word I can use to describe that is bizarre. I mean, like you say, this is not someone that just came in off the streets and started running a company. This is a man that's run, Goldman Sachs. I mean, he's been governor of a state. And you've got to believe in the last hours and days and weeks of that company, a lot of decisions were being made that only he should be making, and didn't seem to have a lot of recollection of those decisions.
Now, to get one thing out there and as clear as we can, that 1.2, and the numbers really have ranged variously from 600 million to 1.5 billion in client money. Another 2.2 trillion going out from the trustee to clients. So that money of about not to get too far into the weeds here, it looks like we're going to see something around 70% of the client money restored to them. Is that a correct understanding on my part?
Well, I think those are some of the early numbers, and certainly everybody's still trying to get to the bottom of this and find out where the money is. And why that's important is, Lou, as you know, a lot of farmers and ranchers and small businesses, had positions with this company, and now they're having to put more of their working capital up to hold on to these positions, and certainly they're the victims in this situation.
We're talking farmers who desperately need that money to run their businesses. So what you're going to talk with him next week? You're going to have him before your committee. Are you giving him credit for at least not hiding behind the Fifth Amendment, talking to the committee rather than keep raising his hand and saying I plead the Fifth?
Well, certainly, Mr. Corzine is an important ingredient in this, but we're really trying to accomplish three things here. One, we're trying to find out where that money is. Secondly, we're trying to find out what was going on within the corporate culture there, and certainly Mr. Corzine should have a lot to reflect on that. And thirdly, what was going on in the regulatory community at the same time. So this is going to be a very broad investigation because we need to put all of the pieces to this puzzle together so that we can really find out what happened.
Congressman, MF Global, amongst other things, does highlight the fact that the derivatives market itself is unregulated, is hardly transparent. Even the so-called efforts of Dodd-Frank, which most people don't consider adequate to the task or an encumbrance to what needs to be done in markets. It's basically a self-regulated industry, as was MF Global, with the exception of the exchange, which does have some oversight. This is stunning stuff, don't you think?
It is, and what we see is that we're learning, and hopefully we're going to learn more, but some of the regulators had already begun to have some real suspicions about things going on there. They've been asked to put up more capital, as you know. And so what we do also beginning to hear, though, is not all of the regulators were talking to each other. And certainly we were promised with Dodd-Frank and FSOC that the Secretary of the Treasury was going to make sure that everybody was talking to each other. And we're seeing early signs that wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, and it's important, I think, to point out, Corzine, a year-long, basically a one-year termer as CEO. He had a 35-year-old chief financial officer who's basically an accountant, worked on the account, but my Lord, he's got to have some interesting answers for you as well, right?
Absolutely, and we want to hear from all of those people. I think another interesting thing too, Lou, was the fact that the Federal Reserve Bank of New York
Right.
Gave this company a very prestigious designation of primary dealer status.
Right.
Only 20 companies have that, and so I mean there are a lot of pieces, as I said, to this puzzle, and it's important to the markets to bring some certainty back to it and some confidence that we get to the bottom of this.
And obviously, amongst those concerns that will be examined, I assume, will be the relationship, the political and personal relationships among the former governor of New Jersey, the CEO of MF Global, the President of the United States, this administration, and the various regulators who have connections of one kind or another back with Corzine at any number of places that he's called him a place of employment.
Absolutely, and we're asking for what kinds of contacts were made with all of those players that you just mentioned, because we think that's an important part of this puzzle.
All right. Congressman, it is great to see you. Thank you very much, and all the best of luck in your investigation.
Thank you, Lou. Pleasure to be with you.
Great to see you. And a reminder to join me on the radio each and every day on stations all across America. Go to LouDobbs.com.